Alright guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone is doing well. Thank you for tuning in. As always, really appreciate it. Shout out to all the subs. Gratitude to anybody new. Welcome along. Wow, let's talk about this fight from yesterday. You know, I'm a bit late. I had to work yesterday, but I'm going to get this up today. Great fight while it lasted. You know, Opetaia retains his IBF cruiserweight title by, you know, I guess a brutalization that reminded me of like a Mortal Kombat scene or something.
Nyika left unsteady. The first 6 rounds. Oh, big shot, big shot. Big shot from Opetaia. Get over here!
Brutality wins.
Look, obviously, that little clip I just left there is just a little bit of a play on the video game. You know, I know Nyika's all right. He got up. They showed a lot of respect. He showed a lot of respect.
Honestly, man, I needed that, man. Needed that. Thank you, man. You're a different kind of beast, bro. So appreciate you, man.
And you know, I hope he has a good recovery, because psychologically that could be a challenge for him, which is, you know, one of the reasons why I heard his team were not so keen on taking this fight, because that can happen, right? You know, I mean, you can really get brutalized, especially with the type of game plan that they had. I mean, that was a really dubious game plan, to say the least. I don't think Opetaia's team, or they didn't expect that either. You know, they mentioned that post-fight.
I was expecting him to start boxing, you know. The first round was pretty intense, and then I wasn't expecting him to come so aggressively. And then, yeah, he just, you know, and then after the first round, I thought, oh, here we go. He's going to start boxing here, you know. Thought he was going to just come out the first round, but he just kept coming forward, man.
Because he came out, Nyika, really trying to force the action, pushing him back, trying to make it physical. I talked about his physical strength before the fight. I was like, he looks like he's physically strong and he's got explosive power. Or maybe not explosive, but punching power, you know. He's got both, which is quite rare for a fighter to have. But he certainly tried to use that. But the trouble is, you know, Opetaia has got more explosive power, he's more experienced, he's got a lower center of gravity, and he whips those shots in with such venom.
Go up, Carly. He's hurt him. Opetaia.
You know, and such velocity. And on this channel, you know, I tried to cover art, boxing, and science. We're going to talk about the punches in a minute scientifically, but the Mortal Kombat scene, that was the art, and this is the boxing bit where I'm going to talk about what actually happened in the fight. Because oddly enough, you know, I mentioned Nyika reminded me of Paul Williams, right, who gave up his height to fight on the inside, and actually his demise, you know, I know he actually suffered a horrific motorcycle accident. He's in a wheelchair now, but prior to that, he got knocked out by a southpaw.
Good left hand, and down goes Williams.
Williams is a man with so much on the attack and aggression that he didn't even expect or see the punch.
Different fashion, but you know, he like never really was the same after that, and then obviously he had an accident. But my point is, Nyika like consistently would come in, and you know, Jai's best punch, actually, I'll talk about the right hook, which I spoke about pre-fight, but a left uppercut. I didn't think Nyika would be so foolish to be so close to the power of Opetaia for so long.
Like a car accident, these two meeting together.
Right, he's coming in, his chin is almost lower than Jai's, and when your chin's lower, I didn't talk about the uppercut because I thought it'd be on the outside, and uppercuts are a lot harder to land against taller fighters. But he's coming in. He nearly got caught with one right before he actually got caught with one, because he was leaning in like that, and Opetaia's a beautiful counter puncher. That's his best punch. He's spoken about it being his favorite best punch, a lead uppercut. He shoots it with such venom. And then, you know, they were on the inside battling, and you know, when you're on the inside, it's exchanges, you know, anything can happen really. You're opening yourself up to the power. And you know, Opetaia's balance, his, you know, ability to land accurate, fast, powerful shots in a flash of an eye is remarkable. And he landed, that was the lead uppercut that actually started the damage. It was what dropped him in the fourth. Let's get to that in a minute, because Actually, in the second, at the end of the second, Nyika had his moment. He had a few moments here and there, but in the second, he really buzzed Opetaia.
Here comes Brown. Yeah. Oh, David Nyika comes back with the 1-2-3.
And why he buzzed him was because he was actually using his height and using his jab. And I was like, I think it could be difficult for Opetaia to get past that jab. And that's exactly what I meant. Where you see that you got a long, tall, rangy guy who's got a bit of power behind that jab, right? He kind of ducks down and then he shoots that right hand in. He didn't see the right hand and it caught him on the side of the head. It looked like a bit of more of an equilibrium buzz, but it definitely rocked him through his boots a little bit. He spoke about it and he was like,
I don't know if he shook you. Tell me first, did you feel that backhand?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, definitely. I think it helped me like on top of the head, and it sort of just like sort of fuzzes you, and then you just come back to it and you're like, oh, you cheeky cunt, and then you just push on. So it was good, man. And then keep your hands up, son.
Okay, let's go. That's what you want to do. That's why this guy's such an animal, because it like when that happens, fighters usually do three things really. They back off and go like, I don't want any more of that. Well, or they just go like, you know what, let's have it. But there's some that pretend that they want it, but they're really doing the first thing. They're backing off, but they might, not try to. They'll try to cover it up a little bit. But essentially, that's born with. You cannot teach that. You cannot teach power like the way he throws those shots with velocity. I had to jump in here quickly. You can improve punching technique. You can definitely teach elements of it, but what I was trying to say is, the power within and what comes from within from his technique that he has basically reared up, is basically part of his style. But everybody can improve power to a certain degree through technique and strength as well, strength training. I'll do more of this and cover more about power and speed as the channel goes on, but I had to watch this back. I was like, that's not true, kind of. I just wanted to elaborate and be clear that power can be improved. Just, getting that kind of leverage in that technique. There's only a certain ceiling that everybody has, but he's got, the highest ceiling, it seems. Anyway, you can't teach that fierceness. You can't teach going to the gym with discipline. Yes, you can improve it, but that's got to come from within. And this is like, I keep saying, I don't know of too many fighters that have got all these attributes. I remember it reminded me of when David Hay fought, I'm forgetting his name, that Welsh guy, the cruiserweight. He destroyed him in 3 rounds. I'll put it up on the screen. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. David Hay was like pre-fight. He's like, I'm better than him at everything. I'm better than him at running, speed, power. He goes, name a sport I'm better than him at. And that's basically what Opetaia was, better than Nyika at everything. And he's just a better athlete. And he's got more tools. He's got that chin. He's got the heart. The chin, obviously, he did get rocked, but, Nyika can punch. He put his full force behind that shot, hit him on the side of the head, and he recovered because of his conditioning too. So, but I would imagine that his dad and his team aren't going to like that, because pre-fight, I was like, they're looking to box a little bit more. So it didn't take a lot for him to get out of the boxing mold, because, that's what happens when you poke a bear like Opetaia, even pre-fight, with the face-off was pretty intense. And when I saw that, I was like, wow, this could be a bit of a rumble. I don't think it'll be as, I thought it'd be a bit more cagey. I thought it'd be a bit more respect. I thought it'd be a bit more tactical, especially from Nyika, which, if you think about it, like that can't have been the game plan. You guys can't have seriously thought about, all right, we're going to just go forward and fight him on the inside and beat him up and bully him a little bit. Like, you could have done that at some point, but like, you should have had some mixing it up with the movement, using your height, like I said, using your jab, keep it simple from the outside, make him work for it a little bit. I know he worked hard for it on the inside in the sense that he was really trying, but make him really get creative with the opportunities that you give him, because it's harder when you are using your height and your reach. Massive advantages right there. But he negated that a lot of the time. And, you know, I talked about the right hook, but I was thinking it would be more of I knew when he was up close for sure. And that's because when you got a right hook, you can send it up like that, right? Or like, you know, up to a taller fighter. But uppercuts are like way harder to get it right up if they're standing up in their, you know, normal height. But, you know, I thought the left hand would be a rangefinder, but he shot a couple in there and boom with that right hook.
I asked Teps.
And he said he's been working on that, and that's what I love to hear.
Yeah, man, I was. You know, we've been working on that right hook a lot.
Is when fighters work on stuff to really get better, and then it comes out in a fight. I mean, there's nothing better when you know you hear that, because they are in the gym diligently working on stuff, and then it comes out, and it's just I mean, the way. Let's talk about scientifically his punches, because. As this channel goes on, I keep saying to you guys, I'm going to be bringing in more scientific breakdowns and, you know, sort of takes on punches specifically. I'm doing a lot of research, and, you know, I'll pull up a little graph right now. I forgot off the top of my head, but I'll let you read it because it is essentially what power really is. You know, power is force times velocity, okay? And the speed of what these punches are delivered at is what creates the power, right? You've obviously got the mass, or the mass is like, you know, your physical mass, but then it's how these punches are delivered. And the velocity, the accuracy, the leverage, the sitting down on your shots, right? So like when you sit down on your shots, you can see he really plants his legs and he's just slinging those shots in so hard, not to mention the intensity and the passion and the actual intent behind these shots. Do you know what I mean? It's like his power is absolutely God-given. It's gifted, and he's really worked on it. And it's like for an Olympic, not Olympic. Was it the Olympics? No, I don't think so. He was an amateur, but he did have a decent amateur background, and he's 10 fights as a pro. As for the team to come up with that kind of a game plan to negate his height, to not really use his jab, to try to fight on the inside and just, kind of rough him up a little bit. It's suicide. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, I've got more to add to this because I was just like, I thought it was going to go a bit later because of that. And, people were really talking about the Jordan Thompson fight. And I was like, yeah, the height thing's there. But like Jordan Thompson didn't really have the attributes or the experience that Nyika had. But, he didn't fight the right fight, I thought. Do you know what I mean? But nonetheless, I thought it was a pretty good fight. I was very entertained. And as I said, I hope Nyika's okay. It's going to be a tough road back for him, getting knocked out like that. He seems the kind of guy that will be all right, though. He's got a tough spirit. Obviously, Opetaia showed him massive respect after that. Said he didn't think he had any fear in his eyes at all.
Man, there was no fear in his eyes, bro. He kept coming forward, man. I was not expecting that, eh? I was not expecting that from David, so I'll take my hat off to him, good on him.
And you got to give him credit for that, but you've got to be careful. This is it's an opportunity, though, that comes around. I love his spirit where he's like, no, I can beat him. And he really believed that. So you can't knock it. But this is when your team, I know they probably tried to, as I said, to say, look, don't take this. But this is why you don't take it. Because you can end up like that, You can end up brutalized. And I said pre-fight, Opetaia never not lands a massive shot on you, He never ever doesn't land on you. He always lands a big shot on you. And when he lands a big shot on you, he does some serious damage. And he was landing loads of right hooks. And he wasn't really landing that left hand to the body that much. But when he did, there was a couple of impactful moments, which I spoke about. But anyway, it's quite early in the morning here. So my eyes look a bit, like sleepy. And I sound a bit groggy. So I've just woken up. But I've got to go out now, but I'll get this up later today. And, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I like to take my time when I'm doing these videos because I want to, show you clips of exactly what's going on and really take, the editing to another level. And just, if it takes a day or two to come out, so be it. But, hopefully it made all sense to you. But, I just want to show quickly the leverage, what I was talking about with Opetaia's right hooks especially. I mean, he puts so much into it, and talk about the speed of what they travel at, and the fact he's sitting down on his leg too, and he just almost puts too much into it, really. You would like to think, oh, actually, you know what, I was going to talk about Ramirez. That's what I was hanging on for a bit. He called out Ramirez.
I'm not trying to disrespect fighters, or, you know, I'm not trying to disrespect Zerto or say he's a bad fighter. I'm just trying to chase progress. You know, I'm trying to level up, you know, so that's what I'm chasing, and that's what I want.
That's a great fight. Ramirez is probably hiding under the couch. He's like, oh God, I've got to fight this dude. Look, at the end of the day, speed kills. You know, that is going to be a massive factor. Not just the foot speed, the hand speed, the power. He's going to be lighting up Ramirez, I think, personally. But Ramirez is tough. He's got a chin. But against Bivol, Ramirez had this look on his face that reminded me of when Lomachenko fights. I know, different weight class completely, but where he just looked bewildered, where he's just like, oh, there's nothing I could do. You know, that's what Bivol. But Bivol is, you know, he'll let off 8 to 10 shots on you, or he'll counterpunch you. You know, Opetaia can counterpunch too, but when he lands shots, he lands those big shots. And will that do the same to Ramirez? Put him in his box, and because he kind of had I don't want to say quit, but he certainly didn't act like I would like to see him act against Bivol when certainly wasn't getting his own way, let's just say. But, you know, he's a tough guy. I'm not saying he's not, but when you know, he's getting maybe outskilled, and Opetaia could definitely do that for a little bit. It'd be an interesting fight, but I see Opetaia winning that quite clearly. Whether he stops him, I don't know, but hopefully that fight gets made. Then they talked about the Usyk fight. You know, he wants all the belts, basically. He wants all the belts, and he wants to go up to heavyweight. So I don't blame him. It's amazing. He's an absolute refreshing spirit to the sport, because, you know, he's like, let's just go, let's just fight. And that only makes the sport better for the fans, for the fights, for the promoters, for people watching at home or there. Shout out to anybody that was there as well. Yeah, that's all I have to say on that. I probably missed a bunch of stuff. Let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts as well. And yeah, as always, really appreciate it. Also, I wanted to say, and I'll do a separate video on this, gratitude to the 6,000 subs that I've got. I'm really grateful. I wanted to make a separate video the other day. I've been very busy. I've just picked up a new gig teaching boxing for kids, actually, like in schools. They're like 12 years old. It's quite, you know, it got me on my toes a little bit. So I've been a little bit inconsistent with the videos, but I wanted to say thank you. You know, and the channel is going to be developing. It's going to be not as schedule orientated. You know, when a fight comes up, I'll see what I can do with them. But, you know, just bear with me. I'll be back, you know. And I'll make a separate video on the 6,000 subs, because, you know, I'm very grateful to anybody that's liked, watched, commented, and, you know, continues to watch my videos. Thank you very much. Have a great day. I'm going to get a bit more sleep before I go. Actually, maybe later. I've got to get ready to go to the gym. So anyway, have a great day, guys. See you later.
Nyika left unsteady. The first 6 rounds. Oh, big shot, big shot. Big shot from Opetaia. Get over here!
Brutality. Opetaia wins.